Chad Larry Ely Murillo-Moncada was a 25-year-old man from Council Bluffs, Iowa, whose life ended in a tragic, bizarre accident in late November 2009. His story is one of sudden mental distress, a desperate flight into a familiar place, and a hidden death that remained undiscovered for nearly a decade, right under the noses of shoppers and coworkers. What follows is a narrative reconstruction based on police reports, family statements, autopsy findings, and witness accounts. It aims to honor the facts while weaving them into a coherent, respectful story of a young life cut short by circumstance. The evening that changed everything. It was November 28, 2009, in Council Bluffs, Iowa, a cold Midwestern town nestled across the Missouri River from Omaha. Snow was falling heavily, blanketing the streets in a quiet white hush that muffled sounds and slowed the world. Larry Ely Murillo-Moncada, a 25-year-old Honduran immigrant, had been struggling. The day before, after working a Thanksgiving shift at the local no-frills supermarket, just under a mile from his family home, he had come back disoriented. His mother, Anna, noticed something was wrong and took him to see a doctor. He was prescribed an antidepressant, but it didn't seem to help. Larry began hearing voices, experiencing hallucinations. He told family he thought someone was following him. He felt his heart beating too hard and believed eating sugar might calm it. That evening, around 6:15 p.m., tensions boiled over at home. Larry became upset during an argument with his parents. In his distressed state, he fled the house, without shoes, without his phone, without his car, running out into the blizzard. His parents, Victor and Ana Murillo, immediately worried. They searched with friends the next morning but found no trace. It felt, as Victor later described, like the earth had swallowed him whole. Larry was reported missing that day. Larry worked at the No Frills supermarket on West Broadway. He wasn't scheduled to work on November 28th, but as an employee, he had easy access to the building even off-shift. Former coworkers later noted that it wasn't unusual for staff to come and go casually. The store's back room housed large industrial refrigeration units, tall, humming freezers and coolers that kept the perishables fresh for the daily flow of shoppers. In his confusion and fear, Larry apparently made his way to the one place that felt safe and familiar, the supermarket. The exact sequence of his actions that night remains partly speculative, but investigators pieced it together from the scene, employee habits, and the physical evidence years later. A familiar hiding spot turns. Deadly employees at No Frills often climbed atop the 12-foot-high, about 3.7 meters, refrigeration units in the back room. The space there was used for storage, extra boxes, supplies, whatever needed tucking away. Some workers even took unofficial breaks up there, away from the bustle of the sales floor. It was a known, if unofficial, perch. The coolers sat close to the wall, leaving only an 18-inch, about 46 centimeters gap between the back of the units and the wall itself, a narrow, shadowed crevice hidden from view. The constant drone of the compressors and fans created a loud mechanical hum that filled the area, making it hard for anyone to hear faint sounds from behind them. Investigators believe Larry climbed onto the top of these coolers, perhaps seeking a quiet spot to hide, to rest, or to escape the voices and paranoia swirling in his mind. Maybe he was trying to clean or organize something up there, as one theory suggested, or simply found solace in the elevated, out-of-the-way space he knew from work. In the dim back room, away from public eyes, he lost his footing or slipped sideways. He fell into that tight 18-inch gap. It was a roughly 12-foot drop, but not one that caused obvious blunt trauma. He became wedged at the bottom, trapped upside down or in an awkward position between the massive vibrating coolers and the unyielding wall. The narrow space pinned him. There was no room to maneuver, no way to climb out. The relentless noise from the refrigeration units likely drowned out any cries for help. Even if he called out, the sound would have been swallowed by the machinery and the everyday chatter of the store just beyond the back room. Shoppers continued their routines in the days and weeks that followed, pushing carts, selecting milk and bread, chatting at checkout. A strange odor was reported by some customers, but managers dismissed it as a possible dead rat or routine issue in an old building. The store stayed open, busy as ever, while Larry's body remained hidden mere feet away in a place no one thought to look. The long years of uncertainty. For Larry's family, the disappearance was agonizing. They searched tirelessly. His mother harbored a lingering suspicion that he had never left the no-frills store. She couldn't explain why, but the feeling stuck with her. Police investigated, but leads dried up quickly. A young man running into a snowstorm without proper clothing. Hypothermia seemed possible, or perhaps he had wandered far. No body turned up. No witnesses came forward with solid information. Larry was simply gone. The no-frills location eventually closed in 2016, sitting vacant for years. Life moved on for the community, but the Murillo family carried the open wound of not knowing. Discovery and closure. On January 24, 2019, nearly 10 years later, contractors were in the abandoned building, dismantling the old shelving and refrigeration units for removal or disposal. As they worked in the back room, they made a grim discovery. Human remains, badly decomposed, wedged deep in that narrow gap behind one of the coolers. The body had been there so long it was mummified in the cool, dry environment created by the units. Police were called. The Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation and the State Medical Examiner's Office took over. DNA from Larry's biological parents provided a positive identification weeks later in July 2019. An autopsy revealed no signs of trauma, no broken bones, no wounds suggestive of violence or a severe fall injury. There was no evidence of foul play. The death was ruled accidental. Investigators reconstructed the likely sequence. Larry had entered the store after fleeing home, climbed the coolers as employees sometimes did, and accidentally fell into the gap where he became trapped and succumbed, possibly to positional asphyxia, exposure, dehydration, or the cumulative effects of being unable to move or call for help effectively. The noise and the hidden location sealed his fate. Aftermath and reflection. Larry's father, Victor, expressed a mix of relief and lingering distress upon learning the truth. The family finally had answers and could lay him to rest, but the circumstances were haunting. "Our heads are spinning," he said. The discovery brought a strange kind of closure after a decade of wondering if their son was alive somewhere, suffering or lost forever. The case stands out for its eerie ordinariness turned horrific. A workplace feature that seemed harmless, a high storage spot used casually by staff, became a fatal trap. The store had operated normally for years with Larry's remains hidden nearby, a silent reminder of how easily the overlooked spaces in our daily lives can hold secrets. Ely Murillo-Moncada's story is a poignant one. A young man battling mental health challenges in a moment of crisis, seeking refuge in the familiar, only to meet an unimaginable end. It highlights the importance of mental health support, workplace safety awareness, even in routine areas, and the quiet persistence of families who never stop hoping for answers. Though the details are tragic and unsettling, they offer a measure of peace to those who loved him. The earth hadn't swallowed him whole after all. He had been there, in the place he knew all along.